Hi everyone and welcome back to CodeNodes. In our last video, we have briefly discussed operators in C++ with examples, but in those examples, we have only used single operator with at most 2 operands. What will happen if we use multiple operators in an expression, then in which order they are going to be evaluated? So that will be the topic of our today's video. In C++, operators have a specific precedence and associativity, which determines the order in which they are evaluated in an expression. Precedence refers to the order in which operators are evaluated when multiple operators are present in an expression. So these are the operators in C++. As we go from left to the right, the precedence of the operators decreases. So increment and decrement operators has the highest precedence in C++ than the arithmetic operators. In the arithmetic operators, this multiplication, division and modulus has the higher precedence than the plus and minus. Then thirdly, the relational operators. Again, the less than, greater than and less than equal to and greater than equal to have the higher precedence than the comparative operators, which are equal to and not equal to. And fourthly, logical operators. In the logical operators, the logical NOT has the highest precedence, then the logical AND, and then the logical OR. And lastly, among all of these operators, the assignment operators have the least precedence. So in any expression, if they have been used, these assignment operators will be evaluated at the last. Let me show you an expression where multiple operators has been used in this expression. So if we evaluate it theoretically as per this table, so as you can see, this increment and decrement operators have the highest precedence and it has been used here with D. So this D++ will be evaluated first, and after that, in between these 3 operators, this multiplication has the higher precedence. So at the second, this operation will be evaluated. And thirdly, as you can see, the plus has the higher precedence than the assignment operator. So this will be evaluated at thirdly, and lastly this assignment operator will be evaluated and the result will be assigned to this A. What will happen if we use multiple operators in an expression and those operators has the same precedence? For example, this plus and minus has the same precedence and we have used both of them in the expression. So in which order they are going to evaluate? In C++, what will the compiler evaluate first? C minus D or B plus C? Similarly, D multiplied by E or E divided by F, as the multiplication and division has the same precedence. So when these type of problems came, associativity comes into picture. Associativity refers to the order in which operators with the same precedence are evaluated. So if the operators that are used multiple times and those are unary or assignment operators, then the order of their evaluation will be from right to left. And if the operators are relational, logical and arithmetic and they are used multiple times in any expression, then their order of the evaluation will be from left to right. Let's go back to the previous example and try to understand this. As we have explained in this slide, the associativity of the operators. So what will be the order of the evaluation of this expression? So at first, this F minus minus will be evaluated as the decrement operator has the highest precedence. Nextly, as you can see, the multiplication and division has the highest precedence. So this will be evaluated. But in which order this will be evaluated? So to understand this, in the arithmetic operators, we have saw that it will be evaluated from left to right if both operators have the same precedence. So this is the left one, this is the right one. So this left part will be evaluated first and the right part will be evaluated later. After completing this, now it's time for the plus and minus, which has the higher precedence than the assignment one and less precedence than the multiplication and division one. This is also an arithmetic operator. So the associativity will be again from left to right. So B plus C will be evaluated first and then the result will be evaluated with the result of this. And lastly, the assignment operator will be evaluated with the result of the right side assigning to A. Now you understand the precedence and associativity. Now let's solve these examples manually and with the code, and we will compare the output of ours and the systems. So let me declare the variables A, B, C and D, and we will solve this example 1. And for that, let me initialize this. We will use this A to store the result, so let me initialize B with 6 and C with 5 and D with 4. Now the expression is A is equal to B plus C multiplied by D plus plus. For the dry run, let me copy this and paste it over here. Let me comment this. Now as you can see, this plus plus has the higher precedence, so this will be evaluated first. Since it is a post increment, so it will firstly use the value and then increments it. So in this line, it will not be 5 if we use this. So let me just use this as a pre-increment. D value is 4, and after incrementing 1, it will become 5. Now as you can see, among these operators, this steric has the higher precedence, so it will be evaluated first. So the value of C is 5, so 5 multiplied by 5 will be 25. Now this will be evaluated, so the value of B is 6, so the whole result will become 31, which will assign to A. Now our output is 31. If we compile and if we print it out, the value of example 1 is A, E and L. So if we compile and run this, now as you can see, it has printed 31, so our result is equal to the system result. Now look at the second example where we are using E and F too. So let me initialize these variables too. Let me initialize E with 3 and F with 2. Now let me just comment this expression and let me write over here example number 2. In the second example, our expression is A is equal to B plus C minus D multiply by E divide by F and plus plus. So let me just copy this and paste in the next line for dry run. So as you can see, this increment operator has the highest precedence among all of these. This time we will keep this post increment. So the value of F is 2. So it will only use 2 this time. So we will just remove these operators. And after this, this multiplication and division has the same precedence, and both of these has the higher precedence among all of these. So certainly these will be evaluated first, but in which order it gonna evaluate? So as per the rule of associativity, the arithmetic operators gonna evaluate from left to right. So this will be evaluated first. So we will just replace the value of D is 4 and the value of E is 3. So this will be evaluated first. So the result is 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. And now among these operators, the division has higher precedence, so it will be evaluated. So the value becomes 6. 12 divided by 2, 6. Now among these operators, again the associativity goes from left to right, so this will be evaluated first. So 6 plus 5, so the result becomes 11. And lastly 11 minus 6, which is 5. So our result is 5. Let's see what will be the system's result. So I just copy it and paste it over here. Now we will see what is the result of this example 2. So if I compile and run this, now as you can see, the result is 5. So our result is equal to the system result, and we have calculated it correctly. Let me comment this. Now look at the one of the example for the relational operators. So Let me take an example 3, and suppose our example is A is equal to B is greater than C is equal to C is greater than E. So let me take a boolean variable over here, boolean result. So the result will be stored as a true or false, 1 or 0, because it gonna return either true or false. So let me just copy this expression for a dry run and let me comment this. Now in the relational operator, as you can see, if two or more operators has the same precedence, so the associativity goes from left to right. So this greater than operator has been used multiple times and both has the same precedence, so it will be evaluated first, the left side one. So the value of B is 6 and the value of C is 5 and the value of E is 3. So 6 is obviously greater than 5, so the answer will be 1, which is true. In C++ compiler consider 1 as a true and 0 as a false. Now among this equal to and greater than operator, it has the higher precedence, so it will take this one. So obviously 5 is greater than 3, so it will be true. Now lastly 1 equal to 1, so it is obviously true. 1 is equal to 1, so the whole result will be true. Let me just copy it and paste it over here. So the result of example number 3 is, result is the variable we are storing in. So if I compile and run this, now as you can see, it has printed 1 means true. So our result is equal to the system result. So this is one of the example for the relational operator. Now let's look at one of the example of logical operator. For that, let me just comment this out and these two, and let me take boolean data type examples. So bool A is equal to true, B is equal to false, and C is equal to true. Now let me take one more variable, which is result, and result is equal to, we are testing the logical operator, so A and B or C. So let me enclose this inside this braces and let me use this not C over here. And first of all, let's dry run this. So in the relational operator, the not has the higher precedence than the and lastly the or operator. So the value of A is true, we will use the 1 as per the compiler's understanding. For the B we will use 0, and for C the value of C is true, so we will use 1. So what does the not operator will do is that it will convert this 1 to 0, means if it is true then it will convert it to false, so this is 0. Now among these two operators, certainly the AND operator has the higher precedence. So for the AND operator, at the both end it must be true or false. If one of it is false, then it will consider the whole result as a 0. So the result of this operation will be 0. And lastly this OR operator, so 0 and 0 means both are false, so the answer will be false. So the result of our this expression will be false. Let me just copy this and paste it over here, uncomment this. So this is example number 4. We are using the logical operators this time. Example 4. And if I save it, compile and run this, it has thrown an error over here, which is cout, and we have not used the semicolon over here. So if I compile and run this, now as you can see, it has printed the answer 0, which is exactly equal to our example. So this is the example of the logical operator we have used. Now lastly, let me give you an example of the assignment operator. Assignment operator has the least precedence among all of these operators. So let me just uncomment this out and these first 3. Now this will be our example number 5. For the assignment operators, let's do this. A is equal to B plus is equal to 5. All of these has the same precedence. So what will be the associativity? For the assignment operator, the associativity goes from right to left. So let me just copy this and paste it over here, and if I comment this, so the value of B is 6. So the value of B is already 6 and we are going to add 5 into it. So the answer will be 11 and the value of A will be 11. Let me just copy and print this printing line. And this is the example number 5. Our variable is A. So if I compile and run this, now as you can see, the answer the system gives is that 11 and our answer is also 11. So this is one of the example of the assignment operator. Now let me give you an example. For that, let me just comment this and give you a more clear example. That will be example number 6. For this, we will take 2 variables like my age and brother's age. Now suppose my age is 10 and brother age is 8. Let me take one more variable, which is age difference. So I want to calculate the age difference of me and my brother in months. So what will I do is that age difference is equal to my age minus brother's age multiplied by 12, which is months. There are 12 months in 1 year, so we will convert the result into months. So if I just print this out, see out, age difference is age diff and ENDL. So let's see what will gives it. So if I compile and run this, oh, we have missed it over here, assignment operator. So if I compile and run this, now as you can see, it has given the value of minus 86, which is incorrect. Age cannot be a negative number. This is printing this because in C++ this multiplication has the higher precedence, so it calculated it first and then this. So which in our case it has given us the wrong result. So to overcome this precedence, we certainly want this to be evaluated first, then this later. So override the precedence, we use braces. So this braces has the higher precedence and it overrides the precedence rule of C++. So now if I compile and run this, it will give us the result of 24, which is exactly is equal to 2 years, because my age is 10 and brother's age is 8. So my age minus brother age is 2 and 2 multiplied by 12 months is 24. So this is the examples of the operators in C++ with associativity and precedence. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and do not forget to share the video and subscribe to CodeNodes. Thank you for watching.